Hey guys, Hoang Pham here, and today we're talking about Joshua Tree National Park. If you're in the Palm Springs area, you'll definitely want to check this park out. If you're into hiking and rock climbing, then this place is for you because there's tons of that there, and there's also the world famous Joshua trees. Here are my 5 top must-see places in Joshua Tree National Park. So starting off at number 5, we have 2 rocks, Cap Rock and Skull Rock. Cap Rock jets out and defies gravity as it sits on top of a larger rock formation. It looks like a neat little cap, hence the name. The rock can be seen from the road, so you can see it while you're passing by. There's also a parking lot that you can pull into, which leads to a whole bunch of trails. And if you're like rock climbing, then this area is full of just rocks to go bouldering and kind of just hike around and that kind of thing. So if that's your thing, then take a pit stop there. And Skull Rock, well, you'll never guess why it's called that. Looks like a skull. So this area is fairly popular, mainly for the Skull Rock itself being the main attraction there, and there's really not a whole lot else to the area. The parking lot, and there really isn't a big parking lot there. It's a pullover on the side of the road that cars can pull over, and it's usually pretty crowded just because people like to go and see Skull Rock itself. It takes a little bit of imagination to get the skull part of it, but I think it looks pretty cool. And there's a lot of rock scrambles and things in the area too, so while you're there, you can scramble around on some of these rocks and get some really cool perspectives of just the surrounding area. So next on our list at number 4, we have the Hidden Valley Trail. This trail is a fairly easy 1-mile loop that goes around, allows you to get pretty close to some of these Joshua trees and rock formations. This is a great spot to do some photography with the ever-changing landscape as you hike throughout the trail and get to explore just everything that the park has to offer. If you are into rock climbing, and I don't mean like just light bouldering and just kind of scrambling over rocks, I mean like real rock climbing with the harnesses and the ropes and things, then this area is for you because it has this really big rock formation that you can climb called the Great Burrito. That's right, you heard me, the Great Burrito. If you want to see more Joshua trees though, then this next location is for you. Number 3, we have the Barker Dam Trail. This 1.1 mile loop takes you around the historic Barker Dam, which was used back in the day by cattle ranchers. This area in particular, the Barker Dam, is affected by rainfall, so if there's heavy rainfall, then you'll see a lot more water in the dam and the reservoir area, and it'll look cooler. If there's a drought ongoing, then you probably won't see as much and it might not be as great. So that's something to keep in mind while you're out there. This trail, however, does allow you to see much more than just the Barker Dam itself, but it allows you to see a lot of Joshua trees and large rock formations up close and personal. So this is more your thing if you want to go and explore all these different types of trees, rock formations, etc. and you're not as much into rock climbing like the last location. Now moving on to number 2, we're looking at Keys View. Keys View is a very high overlook that allows you to not only see the city of Palm Springs, but the whole Coachella Valley. And if you get really, really lucky and there's not a lot of dust or pollution in this air or anything, you can actually see the tips of mountains in Mexico. However, from what I've heard, there's been a lot of pollution and stuff lately, so that might not be feasible anymore. Either way, you can still see pretty far. You can actually see the San Andreas fault line as well. This is a great spot to go catch your breath after some nice hiking and just enjoy the view. It's great for the family. It's super close to the parking lot, which is basically right in front of the overlook itself. So not a lot of hiking or anything. There's bathrooms here if you need a break as well. And something to note is it does get very, very windy here, as Palm Springs is a city known for its wind. However, now you're in an overlook that's over 5,000 feet above sea level, so it's pretty windy. This spot is cooler than the rest of the park because it's higher up, so if you're looking for a place to go and just kind of cool down and relax, then this is a good spot to do it. If you plan on watching the sunset from the park, then this is a great place to do it as you watch the sun set over the city of Palm Springs. All right, now we are moving on to number 1, and we are at the Cholla Cactus Gardens. I personally really like the Cholla Cactus Gardens as it's a location with thousands of these little Cholla cacti just everywhere. I went here during sunset, and I think that sunrise and sunset are phenomenal spots here because all of the cacti, they have all these little needles and they're pretty dense, and the sun, when it shines through all the needles and everything, just makes the cacti glow, and that looks really, really cool. It's an easy area to walk around. There's some pullouts on the sides of the roads for you to walk around and all that. However, you want to be very careful if you're walking through the patches of cacti because they're cacti and there's lots and lots of their sharp needles on the ground, and I had hiking boots on, and I really didn't walk far or into the cacti. I just walked right around the edge of the pull-out parking lot area, but I still had a needle or two stuck in my hiking boot when I got back to the car and looked at it, and I had to pull them out. So something to keep in mind if you're wearing sandals or anything like that, then you might want to be careful. You also do want to be careful where you walk and don't venture off and step on all the little cacti or anything like that. You want to stay on any trails as much as you can while you're in the area, because there's a lot of just plants and things growing in the ecosystem there. So you really want to be as careful as you can. So some general tips for visiting is basically just try to stay on trails as much as you can, or just be very careful where you walk because of the delicate ecosystem that's there with a lot of just the small cacti and other things just growing on the ground. You really want to be careful where you step. Also, there are scorpions and snakes and other things while you know, just in the desert. So definitely be careful where you walk, especially if you're going in, you know, warmer months, basically late spring into early fall. When I went there, it was in February and it was very cold, so there was just no animals or anything out, so that helped, I guess, but it was also freezing. But this area can get very, very hot in the summer, especially if you go in the peak summer seasons. So just keep that in mind and dress accordingly. There's not a lot of shade in the park kind of at all, because Joshua trees don't get very tall and the rock formations aren't huge either. So you want to make sure that you're well prepared with a lot of water, and if your car has AC and other things, then that's going to be helpful while you drive around to take a break. But yeah, it's hot. So the thing about Joshua Tree National Park is there are pullouts on the sides of the roads pretty much everywhere in the park, and you're going to pass by so many of them. So you can plan as much as you want, but there's definitely going to be times where you're just driving by an area that looks really, really cool, and just all there is like a pullout and a little trail. So take advantage of those and just enjoy, you know, all the different things that the park has to offer, because essentially the beauty is everywhere in this park. So you definitely want to check out everything, and if something catches your eye, then just go ahead and explore. Lastly, one of the questions I had before I visited Joshua Tree National Park was, where do I see the Joshua trees? In hindsight, very dumb question, because the trees are everywhere, even outside of the park. They're not just inside of the land designated as Joshua Tree National Park. They're in the surrounding area as well. So you really do see them everywhere, and there's a lot of them. So as soon as you start driving into the park, especially if you're coming from, I think like the northeast entrance or something like that, then you're just gonna see them all over the place. And there's lots of pullouts again that you can go ahead and stop and go observe the trees and get up close with them and stuff. But yeah, they're everywhere, so don't worry about it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope that was helpful, and I hope that helps you plan your trip to Joshua Tree National Park if you're in the Palm Springs area. If you're looking for other things to do in the Palm Springs area, then go ahead and check out my vlog from while I was there. And if you have any questions or comments, or if you have anything that you love to do and see in the Palm Springs area, then feel free to go ahead and let me know in the comment section down below, and I will see you guys in the next one.